This is Cattle the Cattle Catster, and this is a review of Temporal Provocations, Terminal Provocations. 6th episode of Lower Decks. In this one, the Cerritos faces off with a pirate ship that wants to steal plunder or booty. Arr! So it's a tie-in to the Transformers episode coming up. There's a pirate in that one. Of course it is. So it's a type of not really, but yeah, and there's a character nobody knew about called Fletcher, which apparently McMahon and the other Kelly are somehow aware of early versions of Distant Destinies. There was a captain called Fletcher who was a screw-up, who had temporal issues and stuff and did weird things, and it's kind of weird because that particular character ended up being slightly renamed for Space-Time Eye. There's like a Beulmer Space-Time Eye as well. So we have two characters from, but not Silly Trek. Interestingly enough, it's Beulmer, but I would say Fletcher acts more like Brussels, who is Henry Brister's character, than he does the other one. It looks more like him too. So he's Henry, but yeah, or Harry the. Not really, but it's weird that it's very close. As if they've read the works of Cat and Cards and are very familiar with it. Even though, yeah, we're not viral. I don't know how they could have purchased some of that stuff on Amazon. But, I don't know. Well, also the name Fletcher is pretty common. But no, not the way the character acts, though. He's that character from that Distant Destinies, Distant Journeys series, which was summarized at one point online. Well, they must have done the research. Anyway, they could be spoofing somebody they met in school, though, I suppose. They keep saying, oh, these characters are like something. I thought, well, this is very much a silly Trek story. Why don't they just let me write for it? Yeah, I'll do it. But I'm not famous, so there you go. And here we have, he screws up. He gets a hold of the pirates are threatening the ship. He gets a hold of Fletcher gets a hold of a warp core that makes it look like he didn't do it, even though he clearly did. And Beulmer and the girl go to the choo-choo dance or something. Well, Tendi and Rutherford go to the Rutherford again being a very similar, Tendi being a similar character to the works of Mike Gemelt, not me, but Michael Gemelt. Yeah, some other person that wrote the other one. But yeah, his stuff, the Uncharted. Similar to that. Well, she and the other guy go on and they meet this annoying. It's like a Microsoft Office handy buddy joke, but it's a badge. It's a Microsoft Office thing. So it's a joke from 2000. So that's 20-year-old joke, and this like thing wants to kill them, which was funny. So there was the cameo from Klingbuff as that character. I'm going to kill you all. And he's like chasing them around. Chases them through several different scenarios on the holodeck. They get trapped on the holodeck, and they have to escape him. They escape to a. First, they're doing a spacewalk because they have to do a spacewalk, and then they're doing a Bajoran city thing gag somewhere, and they're going up some stairs, and then they're doing an ice planet or something. Anyway, so I'm sure it's all tied into something Star Trek. But yeah. But Fletcher's clearly a screw up, and they have him reassigned to the Titan, and then he gets fired like immediately afterward, dumping garbage into the warp core. And that's literally a reference to Brian's story. That goes back to one of our characters from Chimera. Even though you probably don't know that online, you probably Trek Yards and then will say, like, oh, where'd that come from? It's from Brian's story. There is a story that he was on the set of Next Generation, roughly around the time of the episode Relics. I think that was the 6th season, and he was on the set of the engineering room, and he got to look inside the warp core, and there was half-eaten donuts and coffee and garbage inside it, like Mr. Fusion. Somebody put it in there, probably him. And so there was like garbage in the warp core, and so the joke is the garbage in the warp core joke. So that is a very deep time in joke and from Star Trek: The Next Generation. That Brian Story could attest to. Absolutely, he was there. So yeah. Whereas I was on the Star Trek Experience in Vegas. That was a different bridge, but but yeah, Vegas, 2000, like 99, 2001, 2004, 2005, 2006. A bunch of years over there that experience. I was on that thing so much people thought I was a staff member. And some tourists thought I was Robbie McNeil, which was weird. We're not related at all. But no, Robbie McNeil has a little less hair, and up on the top. Well, I would have less hair if I wasn't all grown out long, but yeah, he's a little older than me. So yeah. Robbie McNeil's in his mid-50s. I'm not quite 50. Anyway, so anyways, yeah, the warp core joke. I know the answer to that joke. So they do like the if Will Wheaton does he's doing a ready room. He'll probably mention the junk joke in there, but because he knows he was there, but hopefully he does, because that's what's. And Fletcher could be a reference to somebody else, but it's really uncanny that this is Destiny's character, this is a flaky character. I think it was renamed, like he was renamed one of the other characters from. Yeah, I think I renamed him Drumlin or something. Or I changed his name, but originally it was Fletcher. Yeah, that totally was his. It was Alex Fletcher. He was a captain of a spaceship in the original story, and he went around and he was a screw up, basically. And it didn't fit in Distant Destiny's later books because it wasn't. He was too silly. He would have been good in Silly Trek. He ended up not being used in those either, and his story and his ship thing ended up as a premise in Space-Time Eye, and they changed the names around. I think he's still in Space-Time Eye, so apparently they have been reading that Kindle story online, and there's two of them. And yeah, they read that, put it in there. Probably thinking it was a Star Trek story, because it's kind of Star Trek-like. It was spoofy. Starcracker is kind of like. But no, it was a parody. It wasn't Star Trek. But yeah, so, well, was it, as in terms of an animated episode, I guess it was fine. I know I will be annoying the Trek core people, suggesting that for some reason I had something to do with it. I didn't have anything directly to do with it. I can't. It's just weird that they're using similar characters with names, personalities, and everything to that series. And yeah, I don't have anything to do with it. Or I would be in a studio and there would be all this thing. It should be a real studio. But yeah, that's fine, I guess. Yeah. So. And the other characters are kind of forgettable. It's like the grouchy cat doctor, nacho cheese. Yeah, I thought they said peanut butter out of her fur in the preview, but it was nacho cheese in the episodes. I think they changed some things around. Also, they're implying Q might show up. Yeah, so Q might show up in this one. That'll be the Chimera episode when Q shows up. Yeah. So. Yeah, lower decks. It was, yeah, I mean, you know, it was kind of frantic and kinetic. And every time they introduce a new character, they're spoofing the Star Trek notion of a character we don't know about who's introduced in the episode, and you just know something's going to happen to him at the end because he can't stay there. He's not a main character. It's the guest star trope, the guest star relation trope. Common in Next Generation to have Riker get a girlfriend that he has to like somehow do away with by the end of the episode, or Troy gets a boyfriend somehow to do away with at the end. He ends up a bad guy or something. There was even one Riker episode where where he had to shoot the chick. She was an alien or something, a bad guy. I was like, what the hell? That's kind of dark. There was another one where Riker fell in love with a girl that immediately was fried by the silicon entity. Yeah, so yeah, Alien. So Voyager kind of did that too, but not as much. Deep Space Nine did that a lot. They even had a couple episodes where Bashir had been replaced by a changeling. Anyway, this is the conclusion of Lower Decks, the episode this evening, and that's it. This today. Yep.